You are listening to a Cult Talk Network podcast.
Grab your boomstick and fire up the Delta. It's time for ACTION. Join the Cult of Campbell.
Groovy.
And if you're lucky a little later, I'll let you play with my boomstick.
Welcome, everyone, to Cult of Campbell. I'm Ty.
I'm Eric.
And we are back with our second episode of our Cult of Campbell mini-series I'm very excited about. Tales from the Cult.
Yeah, Tales from the Cult.
Focusing all on the Bruce Campbell fans, because what better fan base to represent here on Cult of Campbell?
I mean, yeah, it kind of fits.
It fits, yeah.
Like
there's some relation there, I feel.
Yeah, just a little bit, to stretch.
And this is our second episode. A couple weeks ago, we got to talk to Freckrus. They were the creator of the BruceFest Friends Discord, and we got to talk about Bruce Campbell, of course, and cosplay and collectibles, and it was really fun. And today we have our second guest. Very excited. This is the thing with Freckrus is they were at BruceFest. We did not get to meet them.
Oh,
they were out doing all their stuff, playing the ARG and all that. Yeah, so we missed the opportunity to meet them.
Yeah.
This person we got to interact with quite a bit at BruceFest. We have a picture of him, of us with her. So
check our Instagram.
Yeah, check Instagram. I'll make sure we post it. Without further ado, allow me to introduce our second guest here on Cult of Campbell's Tales from the Cult, Ashlee.
Hello, Bruceites, Campbellites.
Campbellites. There you
Campbellites.
go. Yeah. Campbellites.
Trying to figure out what
camp that word.
Yes.
Yeah.
Trademark.
Yes.
Kind of like dead.
That was one of our first conversations we ever had when we was like thinking of the podcast. We were like, well, what do we eventually call our fans? And Eric came up with that, and that was pretty genius.
Campbellites.
Campbell, Deadites, Campbellites.
It sounds like something you would come up with.
You came up with it.
Oh, wow.
I'll take the credit. Yeah, I came up with it. That was
You are the podcast.
Ashlee, thank you so much for joining us. We're very excited to have you on. You were such a fun presence at BruceFest.
Oh, yeah, apparently, from what I've heard through the grapevine, I've become almost as infamous as Bruce Campbell himself, specifically at BruceFest. But no, it's great to be on. And you guys getting to hang out with you at BruceFest was a blast.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that was so fun. We were so nervous about going there. We were like, is anyone going to care that we're there? And we had so many people that were so happy to see us, and we got to hang out with all the cool people at BruceFest. That was one of the main things I wanted to go for, because I almost didn't get to go to BruceFest because of my work schedule. Yeah. And the thing I was like so disappointed I was going to miss this, meeting other Bruce Campbell fans and getting to talk about Bruce and nerd out and geek out about Evil Dead and stuff.
Yeah, I was talking with my husband last night about it. It's like, I can't think of another fandom that's quite like Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, no kidding. You said it. Everyone was so welcoming.
Yes. And I think part of that is because it's a subset of a subset of a subset. It's like you've got your horror, and then you've got your B horror, and then you've got your Bruce Campbell B horror.
Yeah.
We're that table at the end of the cafeteria next to the trash cans.
Yeah. Who, if people only knew how much fun was being had over there.
Oh, man, we can't.
They'd want to join in. Yeah.
No.
I know. It's almost like
it's a secret society.
It is. It is.
How fun it is.
It was like when we came up with Cult of Campbell, everyone was like, why would you do a Bruce Campbell podcast? But it's like, we like horror movies, but there's a million horror movie podcasts. We like B movies, but there are thousands of B movie podcasts. But we really like Bruce Campbell, and there's no other Bruce Campbell podcasts out there.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's what we do.
And I like
that's our niche.
It's like it is like 3 layers deep. I never thought about it like that, but yeah.
And we found our audience. We found the coolest people around, the grooviest people on the planet. We can interact with, and I'm part of that. Yeah, I'm part of that fun Discord, which I love. BruceFest.
Oh
friends.
yes, yes. I think part of the criteria to make your way in there is to be at BruceFest, but
yep.
And Frecris has done an amazing job with the Discord. I think we have a couple of little sub channels. Mm-hmm. So as you guys would appreciate, we have the S-Mart employee break room, which is all things S-Mart related. I've been told, I can't say for certain. There is a, like, I guess you say dark web channel for the acolytes. The Chesterheads. I don't.
That's the thing. You get these fan bases, and you have these nuts that infiltrate them and talk all this anti-S-Mart rhetoric, and it's sad, but it happens. It happens.
People he can talk things through with.
Yeah, maybe it might help him out. Maybe it might clear some things up.
Yeah,
having some people other than himself and his crazy theories.
Right, because you can only talk to the voices in your head for so long.
Yeah.
I mean, we went to the same BruceFest, right? We saw some crazy stuff.
Yeah, it was a fun time.
Yes, and then it was, oh boy, the inaugural BruceFest was amazing. This one was next year.
This one. Yeah, I'm so glad. I'm so bummed I didn't go to the first one, but I'm so glad that the second one was my first experience. It was just. It was just such a blast. I cannot wait for BruceFest 3 to come around. Like I really can't. Like that is my vacation this year. I'm not planning a trip to Disney or Universal this year. I'm planning on when BruceFest comes around. That's what I'm cashing the PTO in. I'm flying out to Colorado.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Back up to the mountains we go.
Oh yeah, and it was beautiful. I mean, we got snow. It was great to see. It was great to see people that had never seen snow before get to enjoy BruceFest and snow. And they're like,
yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah, there was all kinds of people from out west that don't get to experience. I didn't think about that. Wow, what a magical time that would be.
Like a Hallmark movie with Bruce Campbell in it.
Yeah. Oh. Magic.
Oh man, just saying Hallmark movie Bruce Campbell is about to bring tears to my eyes a little bit because
there you go. Have you watched both of them, or you only watched one?
Yep,
I've only watched one.
Okay, which one did you watch?
We watched
1 December.
1 December night. We watched that.
Yeah. Waterworks. As somebody that works in healthcare,
almost got me.
It's actually, as far as like Bruce Campbell, the actor, his role in that was you forgot that it was somebody acting. It was just, that's exactly what it's like.
And man, the way they did his arc was so just perfect. The way it was just like subtle little things. Then at the end, it's finally the reveal of like, this is what's happened. I don't want to spoil it for anyone that hasn't seen it because I urge people so much. Like, I think the Bruce Campbell and Hallmark movies on a base level are almost polar opposites. So to see those two fan bases like mesh, it's really hard to get that. But I encourage anyone who's a Bruce Campbell fan, watch these movies because they are magical.
It works so much better than you think it would.
Oh man.
And I think, and we'll probably talk about this a little bit later, but I think we have a type of actor that Bruce is, and I'm going to phrase it here. He is what we call a blue collar actor.
Blue collar actor.
I mean, even from his beginnings of, Into the Woods and the Evil Dead movies and everything, he wasn't just in front of the camera. He was the fog dog. He was running the camera. I mean, he knows what it's like to be kind of down in the trenches.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure if I had a magic genie and I could get a couple of wishes, one of them would be to work on a film with Bruce Campbell. I keep nudging him with that. I'm like, hey, my husband's a cinematographer. Come to Kansas. And he just goes, yeah, right. Insert eye roll here. But I just, he's not going to be all right, we shoot the scene, it's done, I'm back in my trailer. He's like, no, I'm going to be, he's a people's kind of guy, which I think is why he has the fan base that he does. He's just so down to earth, and he doesn't take himself too seriously.
Yeah. One of the things I loved about BruceFest was when we was watching, I think it was Army of Darkness, where he like knew all these people in the background. Like he knew who they were, where he saw them last. Oh, I saw him a couple years ago down in this town doing this. Like all these people, it's in this movie from 1990. Like he remembered and appreciated. You can tell he appreciated all the work that everyone put in on that movie. And like he wasn't just like, he draws comparison sometimes like Tom Cruise. Like he'll talk about like how many tattoos people have Tom Cruise, but how many people on set does Tom Cruise remember? Right. And that's the thing. You got Bruce, who is just there in the trenches with the crew.
Blue collar actor. I love that because that so aptly describes it.
Well, and he's a Midwestern boy. There's something to be said about growing up in the Midwest. And he did. I mean, he didn't finish college, and the fact that he's like, I like acting, and it's like, wait, hey, I can make a living doing this. Surprise!
Yeah, and he just went out and did it. Like
he's willing to work hard to do it. Work just as just as hard or harder than the people around him in order to make those movies.
Yeah, and he's probably he's made some good ones. He's made some maybe not so good ones, but he's like, I'm sure that he's learned something on everything that he's worked on, even if it's I'm never going to do that again.
I've watched over the course of Cult of Campbell, I've watched, I would say, if not all, close to all of everything Bruce Campbell's ever been in. And there's been some enjoyable things and not some enjoyable things, but every time I watch something that's not so enjoyable, I still think there's worse things I could be watching that doesn't have Bruce Campbell in it. So there's always that silver lining,
yes.
Because at least I'm getting to watch Bruce Campbell.
Right. He's, even if he's not a big part of the movie, it's just watching him. It's interesting. It's and going back, like getting introduced to Bruce Campbell and then going, wait a minute, I've seen him in other stuff, and going back and revisiting the things that I had seen him in but wasn't watching for him. It's like, holy cow, that is okay. Yeah, I get that.
One and movie I always forget he's in is that Herbie movie from the 90s.
Oh, God, yeah.
I've been looking for that. Disney Plus has not added that on there, and I want to see that so bad again.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, that's where you go to the flea markets and stuff, and you start digging through. It's like an old VHS copy or
I need to get
Blockbuster. Oh man,
get a VCR.
I need to get a VCR. So Ashlee, what was? So do you remember when the first time you noticed? Like when the first time when did you become a Bruce Campbell fan? Do you remember like when you first saw this guy and you were like, that's my guy?
So 2007. I had just started dating a guy, and we had been talking, and he's, of course, my name's Ashlee. I go by Ash nickname. So it was one of those things that he just assumed that being a nerd, and as weird as I am, I would have already come across Ashlee J. Williams. And so he's like, well, is that why you go by Ash? Is it that? I'm like, well, actually, no, it's because of Pokemon, but we'll get into that. We'll get into that story a little bit later.
One of my favorite pictures I asked for pictures for this podcast. You sent me that one. I was like, that's the one. People will see it. That's what the thumbnail of this is.
Yes. Nice. Ash Ketchum Killam Williams. There's a whole backstory. And I was actually listening through some of your guys' podcasts, and I came across the one where you're like, it's Ash and his Necronomicon Pikachu catching deadites. I'm like, oh boy, they have no idea, do they? And unfortunately, I got to debut that particular cosplay a little bit at BruceFest.
Yeah.
But because of the scheduling and Last Man Standing and that whole event, that costume didn't get as much of a showcase. But it will be there next year.
Okay.
Yes, with
I think I'm gonna try
Deaded
cosplay
Shoe.
next year.
Yes.
Ooh, you're gonna have a prop and everything.
No, I have a 6 foot tall, loving husband dressed as Pikachu.
Fantastic! I cannot wait to see that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Save me a spot for a picture. I want a picture.
Oh yeah. Well, and I'm actually in the process of working on the Pokeballs that I'll be bringing with me. So I might throw some Velcro on them so you can throw them at my husband. Yes. Bless his little heart. We do it because we love Bruce Campbell, and those that support us do it because they love us. So. But he fantastic. It was great. I had to have somebody hold me back. He's my handler at BruceFest.
he was on it. He was anytime in camp. He was there to take a picture and everything. He was fantastic.
Oh, he's great.
I'm pretty sure he took the picture we have of
I think so. He's usually my go-to guy. It's like
your personal photographer.
My personal, he makes stuff look good, but yeah. So 2007, I was like, I go by Ash. It's more Pokemon kind of related. He's like, oh no, we got to watch Evil Dead. So we ended up watching all 3 movies. So the Evil Dead 2, and Army of Darkness, and that was like, okay, this. I will admit, I have had a crush on Bruce, even with that unibrow. And
no. When are you going to add that to your cosplay costume?
It's a prominent boy in that first movie.
Oh boy, howdy! You can drive Hot Wheel cars across that sucker.
I got the NECA. NECA put out a anniversary edition figure of Evil Dead 1 of Ash, and they didn't go in on the unibrow. That was the biggest gripe I had about that figure. Is they did not go in on that unibrow. How are you going to be authentic and not?
Did you go in with a Sharpie?
Yeah.
You should fix it up a little. Yeah. Wiggles in there.
Yeah. But watching him in that, he did such a great job. I mean, especially in the first movie, he's the reluctant hero.
Yes.
And he plays it so well. He's like, well, shit. Okay, everyone's dying or dead-eating, and I guess I just gotta save the day. And then, of course, so by Evil Dead 2, it's like, all right, he kind of was starting to find his groove with that. And he's like, all right, still kind of the aloof character, but comes around. He's like, all right, this is time to get shit done. And then, of course, by Army of Darkness, it's just full on this is my role. I know who I am. And he's relatable, which is weird.
Yes.
and I think one of the things, and I don't know how much Bruce put into the character and how much it was more Sam, but the ingenuity was something that I was always drawn to. It's like, you know what? I'm going to chop off my hand and I'm going to slap a chainsaw on it. Or
as you do.
As you do. It's like, okay, what do I got? I got some duct tape. I've got.
When your back's against the wall, you got to get yourself out.
Yeah.
It's the first. It's that human spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. that drive of ingenuity,
bumped up to an 11 in a ridiculous way, but honestly, I really think that's part of it. It's just that defiance in the face of the unknown horrifying.
I always say I would love to have been a fan of Evil Dead, going into the theater for the first time to watch Evil Dead 2, and the levels that movie amps everything you thought you knew about the first movie up. It's just what that must have been like to have that virgin experience of here's a guy who puts a chainsaw in his hand and spouting off these. That's one of the things. If I ever can travel back in time, well, it won't even work. I can't do that. I've already seen all this stuff. It's such a cool experience. I wish I had.
You can never have the fresh experience again.
Yeah.
So it was the Evil Dead trilogy that that did hook you on Campbell initially.
Yes.
Was it any particular movie or was it kind of the combo?
I think it was, I would say it's probably more a combination of Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness.
Yeah.
That's what got me as a fan.
And then going back to the Evil Dead, the first one, then it's like, okay, that it added just a little bit more. But the ones that were more mainstream, it's I'm sure there are the fans that's like, yeah, that first Evil Dead, that's what hooked me. And it's like, yeah, he's just like, okay. It's like kind of looking at him from across the bar going, he's okay. And then, you get closer, Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness is like, oh yeah.
Yeah. Evil Dead 2 where he bears all, and that's where you see Bruce, baby. You see the one-liners, the chin. You get to see the badass Bruce we all know. That's where Bruce became Bruce as Evil Dead 2. Like
it is, yeah. And I think just getting, and that it is that kind of iconic thing, and reaching out to like, you get those kind of Conan Barbarian kind of feel, and
very 80s action hero. He's
yes. The only thing, well, of course, you can only hold one gun when you have a chainsaw for a hand, so it's not the
you only need one gun when you got a chainsaw for a hand.
This is very true. It's kind of the John McClane. He's the John McClane of horror.
He is. Yeah. He is horror's action hero. That is what sets Bruce. I think that's what sets Ash apart from your Laurie Strodes and probably Ripley. I would say you have to argue with that, but even Ripley was more of like a heroine, just female in distress until she turned things around. Bruce was like taking it head on from the beginning. Like he's Arnold Schwarzenegger in a horror movie, basically.
Yeah, he probably doesn't mind that too much.
Probably doesn't.
30
I'm sure he's
now?
very fond of that Army of Darkness poster. I'm pretty sure.
I wonder how many times he like just poses like that in the in the privacy of his own home. He's got Ida there on his leg. It's like I just need a moment.
Just in the mirror. He's got the poster next to it. He just kind of like just lining up. Like,
it's like it's
not that far off.
Yeah, it's like Ash versus the Evil Dead. First episode. He's like, yeah, I still got it. I still got it.
So you got immersed into this world through the Evil Dead trilogy, as you should. Now, is the Evil Dead trilogy your favorite movie, or what's your favorite Bruce movie, I guess?
Okay, so kind of a two-parter on this one.
Fair enough.
So we're talking Bruce Campbell, the actor, just more of an acting standpoint.
Okay.
Bubba Hotep is actually my favorite.
Okay.
Because he is just so believable. And honestly, it's almost like if you had Elvis say, hey, Elvis, we want to throw you in this horror movie where there's a redneck mummy and your sidekick is a black JFK. It's how I would imagine Elvis would do this. And then I think as an actor, that is probably my favorite movie as his acting chops.
Performance.
Performance. There we go. Yeah.
That's the for your consideration movie. Like if you ever go on like nominate Bruce for like a serious role, this is the movie you put on that sizzle reel where you're like, look what this guy can do.
Because I believe that he is old Elvis with all of the old people problems that he has in those movies. Like he sells all. I'm with you. That's like top-notch performance there. He sells every bit of it.
Right. And he was, let's see, that was 2000. So he was in his 40s.
Right.
That point,
Yeah.
So it's like, he hasn't reached that point where we were worried about him going down that hill in that walker, but he's like, oh, he's still got some years. He's got some bounce still left. But so I've got, as far as his acting performance, Bubba Hotep, but my overall just favorite Bruce Campbell as Bruce Campbell, not the actor, just kind of more the person, is a toss-up between Army of Darkness and My Name is Bruce.
Very good
because those are just pure campy gold. I mean, he's being a ham without being too much of a ham. I mean, let's face it, you can't spell Campbell without camp.
Right. Yeah.
Nailed it. That was good.
So it's just he's having fun, and I think that was, and you can tell he's having fun.
In Ash vs. Evil Dead, wait, not Ash. My name is Bruce for sure. You can tell like that movie must have been just a black. He shot it like at his property is where it was all shot, right?
Wow.
I mean, how that's commitment, or you have a lot of free time, and you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna build a town on my estate.
Yeah, build a little town and invite all your friends out to be in a movie. If you don't have enough actors for the roles, just cast Ted Raimi over and over. It'll work out.
Oh, poor Ted.
Poor Ted.
You just put mustaches on him of different sizes.
Mustaches. Yeah. And what ethnicity am I today? That's what.
I know.
The man of 1,000 mustaches.
Right. Man of 1,000 mustaches.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now you at BruceFest, you won Last Van Standing. You're the Queen of BruceFest.
I am the reigning Queen of BruceFest right now until I potentially get dethroned. Hopefully not. I've got some Patrick. I've got some practice rounds coming up with Bruce-orama.
Oh, okay, nice.
Oh yeah, yes you do. That's right.
So I plan on. I gotta practice, and partly because I just want to make it up on the leaderboard so that he sees me and he's like, "Oh fuck, not you again." He's like, "How do we get rid of you?"
Every time now, it's just like his goal to like, I'm gonna stump her this time. I swear. To God.
Oh man. Well, and with Last Man Standing, when because I don't get everything correct. I'm not that amazing, but when I did miss a question, he got excited. He started doing a dance. It's like, that's wrong. And I'm like, all right, Bruce.
Oh, that is great.
So yes, I'm currently the reigning BruceFest Last Man Standing champ.
So if you guys want to be the champs, you know who to take down now. We've painted a target on you.
Well, as Bruce said, that's the one that you go to the bar and you get her like schnockered to see if we can knock her off her game. So
sounds like a win-win for you.
Oh yeah, free drinks for me. Oh yeah,
hell yeah. Do you remember what the question was that you won on? What the ultimate question was?
Oh,
I know I'm putting you
the
on the
Nebuchadnezzar.
spot. Oh,
Nebuchadnezzar.
That was the last question of the second night. Was what was the name of Morpheus's ship?
Oh, I would not have got that.
Oh, yeah.
I would not have got that.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah.
I'd have called it the Morpheus.
The Morbius. The Morbius. Wrong movie.
I would have got it mixed up like the Necronomicon.
Yeah.
Well, the first night I just was fixated on the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen for some reason. I think we were doing comic books or graphic novels or something, and I was like, I know one of these characters is in this damn book. And I finally got an answer. I got that one correct. I was like, yeah, even a blind squirrel will find a nut every now and again.
It's a shame you didn't come to we did the live podcast thing there.
I know.
We did a little Q&A at the end of it, and I was fairly disappointed. I asked all my questions I had, no one got them, so I let the crowd turn on me and shoot me questions till I got them wrong.
Yeah.
It's all Bruce related. I don't know a lot, but I know a lot about Bruce, so that's all I can say.
I think I was actually over at the Saturday shop.
Yeah.
Bradley made an appearance. So trying to be supportive.
I was bummed out. I know. I was bummed I didn't go see him.
And there's so much stuff to do at BruceFest.
One thing I want to do this year that I didn't do last year is do the ARG. I didn't do that because we were so busy doing the other stuff we was involved in, but I want to try to do that this year. I want to try to. Yeah. I want to cosplay this year, and I want to do the ARG. That's my two things I want to do this year that I didn't get to.
Well, we can.
I already have my cosplay picked out.
Cosplay's good, and it's fun, especially when I was pretty much in cosplay of a sort all weekend. I have my S-Smart.
You were doing
smock and
it seemed like every time I saw you, you were different. You were something different. You were either like Ash or S-Smart, Ashlee. And it was like every time I'd see you, like, were you like running back up and changing and coming back down? Like
I had a couple of different versions. So yeah, I had S-Smart Ash. I have just regular Ash. Then I had, for a very brief period of time, I had my Ash Ketchum Gillum Williams. And then I had a nice. I felt like I was at an awards show. I had so many costume changes. And then there was the nice Dance of the Dead. I had a nice outfit for that. I had a bloody jacket that I wore the second night to Last Man Standing. That Bruce was like, if you wake up unconscious and your jacket's gone, I probably have it. I'm like.
Hey,
I'm fine with that. If you were to knock me out, I would appreciate that.
You should next year. You should do King Ash. With the from Army of Darkness with the cloak and all, like the Valiant Ash they call it.
Oh, Valiant. Okay, I was thinking evil King Ash.
Ooh, that would be good too. Can't go wrong with evil Ash.
Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah.
That's some prosthetics.
You got
yeah, that would be. I'd have if I start working on it now, depending on when they decide to do BruceFest.
Breath.
It's because we had the Detroit. There was the Detroit date, and then that got canceled and turned back into the Stanley date.
Which it is the Stanley. I'm pretty certain. I think they talked about it in the interview I did with Selena that the Stanley is pretty much the home of BruceFest now. Like that's like
that's kind of a
place.
Kind of a done.
I think if I'm not mistaken, I don't know about the third one. We have no inside information on that, but I know that the Stanley has they're very, very open to BruceFest. So hopefully it's there again, because I think it'd be an amazing place. It'd be nice if that was the home of BruceFest.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great. It's a nice campus.
Beautiful.
You've got
everything was just so accessible.
Yeah,
the buildings all were accommodating to everything there. Mm-hmm. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you're gonna have 300 some people running amok. There'll be chainsaws and shotguns and blood and gore. It's like, oh yeah, it's fine. We see this stuff on a regular basis.
I wasn't sure what to expect when we went to BruceFest, and I was so pleasant. As soon as we got there and I saw everything come to life, I was so happy, because I was like, is this going to be a couple dozen people awkwardly oohing and awing at Bruce Campbell while we sit in a room? That's why I was not sure what to expect.
That was me. I was that.
Yeah, that was Eric. That was
everyone else. Cool.
Sitting on stage next to Bruce Campbell was Eric. Eric was so nervous about doing that lunatics panel we ended up doing.
My God.
But I was not sure what to expect, and as the weekend went on, it was just so cool to see everyone just walking back and forth. It was always something to do. It was either you're going to get signings, or maybe you just go into the theater and watch a couple episodes of Bristol County Junior, or go to the shop, or go to the HS the horror movie prop society. I mean, go play board games. There was so much. It was you never got bored.
There was a time period where you could play board games with Ted Raimi.
Yeah.
I actually got to sit in on the first round with play with Ted. Yeah. Ted by Dawn. There we go. Haha. No. Ted by Dawn. No, they did the Werewolf at Midnight. Which is a great game. I had never played it before.
Oh no. Yeah. That's a fun one. Yeah.
It was so much fun, especially when you get Bruce Campbell fans are unique. So you get a bunch of us together, and we're like, all right, now we're pointing fingers at who's the werewolf, and no, I'm not the werewolf, and giving example, coming up with these elaborate stories, and having Bruce's son and daughter-in-law there, and they played.
Really?
They were originally going to run the game. But they had never played the game before. So it's like, no, you guys play. We've got somebody We got somebody who can MC.
Yeah.
So it was great. They were.
That is super cool. Yeah, I came in on the back half of that, and I could tell just from the way things were, going that there was already like this village had a bit of a world to it that was absolutely absurd. But
yeah, it's like world.
People were like kind of getting into character. Yeah,
it was good. But yeah, they added a couple stuff. The game room was new this year. And I think, both game rooms. So we had the board game room, and then we also had Evil Dead the game, which I didn't get a chance to play it there because I was running here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah, too busy working for S-Mart and being
S-Mart. And that was the fun part. It's even though I'm not as of right now, I'm not like an official BruceFest crew member. I know Selena and Bradley, and it's like if you need me to send people on wild goose chases, I'll do it. If you need me to do it's like it just adds to my enjoyment because it's so entertaining. The immersive. Definitely as we get closer to BruceFest 3. Definitely reach out, and I can get you caught up on the ARG and
definitely. Maybe we'll have to do like an ARG special kind of a recap of what all's transpired. That'd be interesting because I'm a little bit caught up on the world. We had our friend Paul. He kind of gave us a little bit of info on what was going on with all these characters and Bradley. Yeah, Paul's a pretty good guy.
Paul.
He gave us some insight on what's going on, and it's such an interesting world that is built around this convention. That's one of the really unique things about this.
Yeah, it is, and getting a chance to talk with Paul and with Selena after the fact about the ARG, and it's like, it was something that really hasn't been explored at a con or a convention or a festival. You see it at like Disney World, like Galaxy's Edge, that kind of stuff. But to do something like that over 3 days and make it entertaining and hopefully catching people.
And having a continuity to it too. And more to dig into and stuff like that. Like there were clues hidden around. Like I didn't participate in any of that, but there were all sorts of like what those QR codes or something like that.
So there was and there's a scavenger hunt. So you've got the scavenger hunt and then you've got the immersive. So you've got a couple of things going on here and there, and
so many layers.
So many layers. Yeah. You're constantly going. I was getting up probably 6-7 o'clock in the morning. It's like, all right, let's get on with the day. See what new shenanigans we have.
So cosplay obviously was a big part of your presence at BruceFest. Mm-hmm. How long have you been doing cosplay? Like when did you start? Did you start it because of Bruce, or has this been something you've been doing?
So I've always loved Halloween. It lets me be a little more creative, get out of my shell, let my nerdness, geekiness out. But I didn't really jump into it until 2011. So I was engaged to my husband at this point. I'm trying to think of the story. And so we were going to do a couple's costume. I was like, okay, we're creative. We're film people. What do we want to do? And we decided to do Barbara and Adam Maitland from Beetlejuice.
Yep.
But they're not just them, but they're scare versions. So with her, with her mouth, face, the pulled out face, the eyeballs on the fingers. So we put together that costume in about 24 hours.
No kidding.
So it was wire hangers and duct tape and felt and ping pong balls and spray paint. And Matt already had the black and white checkered outfit, which is like, ooh, I like this man. There is something to this man.
It's already ready to go. Yeah.
Yes. And I put on a brown. I had found a brown wig, and so decided to do that. Went to a Halloween party and won first place at the costume contest. So I was like, okay, this is great. And then we live in Lawrence, and so our main street is Mass Street. And for Halloween, people, the shops are open. kids can go trick-or-treating and stuff like that. So we decided to take the show on the road, so to speak, and walked up and down Mass Street as Barbara and Adam. And I can't remember how many people stopped us to get photos. So there are several people out there in the world who have pictures of these, Barbara and Adam. And apparently the funny thing is that there was somebody dressed up as Beetlejuice, but we never crossed paths. And it was so funny because we would run into people and like, oh my God, there's a Beetlejuice down on Mass Street. You should find them. And it never happened.
And I'll bet people were telling him that you guys were wandering around.
Exactly. So we were probably just circling each other. So that kind of re-sparked that interest in cosplaying and costuming and stuff like that. So from there, I've done a couple of more things. Usually around Halloween, just because it's easy, and sometimes trying to get out to conventions, it can be difficult. And it's like, well, I could do something for this one, but it doesn't really fit the theme. I did make a Tui, an Audrey 2 from Little Shop of Horrors. A little puppet.
Okay.
So I did a trunk or treat for some kids. And so I made that, and I sat in the back of my SUV, and I had candy in the mouth, and I had my hand on the top so that as kids went in to reach for the candy, I could shut Tui's mouth on them.
Yes.
And so kids, they kept circling back around because they were like trying to think, okay, can I be faster than her? Can I get it? And I still have Tui. Tui sits in my home office, just staring at me like, you need to fix me.
I need more hands.
It's like, oh, you need some, I can do better now that I've had some experience. But but then of course, I've got my Ash Ketchum outfit and my Evil Deads. The one that I'm actually probably my Ash Williams costume I'm pretty proud of. But I did a Princess Carolyn from BoJack Horseman.
Oh.
So
no kidding.
I made the dress with all the fish on it. I had the little necklace. I had the hair, the whiskers. I went so far as to even find one of the old over-the-ear Bluetooth headpieces, and I had it pinned up in the cat ear. The number of people was like, "Oh my God, you even have the headset." It's like, it's just and that's the great thing, the little attentions to detail that people pick up on, and they go, "I see you." That's good.
That has got to be so validating. Just like, it's like, I thought about this little thing that someone could nitpick. They might not, but I'm including it in there, and then somebody calls it out. That has got to feel. That's got to be good.
Yeah, it's that little Easter egg bonus feature. It's like, okay, you get a nod, and you enter that appreciation level of cosplay. So
I know almost nothing about cosplay beyond just what the layman would know anyway. But like, if somebody were interested and start, like, you just dove in, it sounds like we're just like, oh, we're going to do this, and oh, this is great, and we're keep going. So what do you think? I'm trying to think of like a good question for like entry level people. Like, what should you know, or what do you wish? One of those standard, like, what do you wish you would have known before you started, or what's something that you don't really learn until you're deeper into it that could be useful to somebody?
I would say definitely be open to experimenting. So, a lot of times, and I see this a lot online and some at some of the conventions, it's like, well, I can't be such and such character because they're this way, or I don't have the body type for this and stuff like that. It's like, you don't have to do exactly what you see. You can do a reimagining of it.
Okay.
And not to be afraid of going out there. It's like, you know what? I want to do a male version of Ruby. What would, for example, what would be my spin on that? Or, a female Ash. Very similar to male Ash, but I've seen some amazing cosplays of Ash where he's got a little mini skirt, corduroy mini skirt, and a kind of a Daisy Duke tied blue button up.
Oh my gosh! Yes,
those, and you have to. It's also a confidence thing, and that's tough. You can't buy confidence, but I think if you put yourself out there, you will find people that will be able to validate you and say that's amazing. You did a good job, and BruceFest honestly would be a great example of that. You could debut any kind of Bruce related cosplay there, and it would be welcomed. And it's such a great environment that I like to. I would want anybody who's thought about doing cosplay to know. You don't have to be great at sewing. That's another aspect. It helps, but you have YouTube. You can always, it's like, how do I do this? A lot of the pieces that I wear have been, most of my Evil Dead Ash was purchased. I made some little modifications. The Pokemon Ash, again, it was stuff I bought, and I sewed some stuff together. The only stuff that I've created was my 6 foot tall Pikachu costume. I sewed that. It's just basically, I took the pattern for a giant onesie and added a big ass tail to it. But yeah, it's just, and looking at stuff and saying, oh, that can be repurposed. So and I think that also comes from my background as a model builder. So I do small scale models as well. And we do something called kit bashing, where you'll take pieces from one model and pieces from another. And it's like, you can build stuff right out of the box and it looks exactly like the display. Right. Or it's like, you know what? I'm going to do something different. I'm going to take, for example, and my husband also kit bashes. So a lot of my advanced nerdiness has come from him. I've honed it a little bit. But he's done things like he's taken the drill off of some kind of mole device and he put it on a TIE fighter. So he's got a TIE drill. So and plastic in my house never gets recycled, but until we've looked at it and said, can I use this as a model part?
I respect
love that.
Hell out of that. Hell yes.
And working in healthcare, strangely enough, the plastic that they use in healthcare is usable in model building. It's the same kind of plastic. It's the same styrene. So I bring home a lot of expired, not used. Expired plastic stuff. It's like, yeah, we can, that's a model part. That looks like a spaceship. And so, yeah, just letting your creativity go.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's great. No, sounds like a lot of like letting yourself think outside of the box and having some confidence in something that might sound a little wacky. And, it's like, no, you might be able to pull that. No, thank you very much. And I learned some new vocabulary too. Say it again for me. Kit bashing, was that
kit
it?
Bashing,
kit bash.
Yes.
Kit bashing.
I actually have a kit bash project I'll probably be posting here on the Discord at some point. I'm collecting bits and bobs for this thing. It's a Bruce thing I think people will really appreciate. So
nice.
It's a little project I had in my mind. I've been just getting all my little things together for it. But
cool.
So Ashlee, we're getting ready to wind things down. We're gonna be letting you go. But I do have a question. So here on Cult of Campbell, one of the things we do is we've made pretty much dedicated a lot of our time to watching these Bruce Campbell movies. And once we get to the end of these movies, we rate them on we have a scale. It's groovy or not groovy. And we don't rate the movies. We rate the quality of Campbell. So I want to ask you, what is quality Campbell to you? When you're watching a movie and you see Bruce in it, what do you think of when you think of quality Campbell?
Ooh.
Put you in the hot seat.
Yeah, that's, oh man.
Putting the queen on the hot seat here. Making her think.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown right now. Quality Campbell. What do I think of? I think, honestly, when I think quality of Campbell, it's a sense of effortlessness, if that makes sense.
Okay.
The lines feel natural, like something his character or that he would say. The delivery doesn't feel forced. I'm trying to think, like, if I guess maybe if I gave a good example of like what my quality Campbell, an example of what good quality Campbell would be is kind of going back to Bubba Hotel. Is that is just 100%.
That's your prime Bruce.
That is prime Bruce. And yeah, oh wow, that is
we've wrestled with this question.
Yeah, we've wrestled a lot with
tough.
it. Yeah, I'm actually going to be working on a presentation. I'm working on a slideshow of what quality Campbell is. Mike gave me that as an assignment. So, but quality Campbell to us, I mean, because it's all about just that machismo and charm to me. That's what when I think of Bruce, that's what I think of. It's just, I don't know. It's a word I use, and even Mike brought this up. He's like, you always use this word machismo when you talk about Bruce, and that's just what I associate Bruce with. This macho machismo charisma. Like, he gets on there and he owns the screen.
Yeah, Ash versus the Evil Dead. That would be another one that I would say that's some pure grade A quality of Campbell right there. Is he just you can't help, even if a whole bunch of other stuff is going on in the scene, you're drawn to him, and and it's weird. Like, he's not making you he's not demanding your attention, but you're just drawn to him.
Yeah.
It's magnetic. Well, I think that's what makes him him. Is just
makes him the king.
It makes him the king, baby. He does it. He makes it so effortlessly. It's like, I'm gonna, and I'm sure he's back there just sweating, sweating bullets. Like, God, do I have to do that line again?
We've said a whole lot of nice things about Bruce on this podcast, and Ashlee, I cannot thank you enough for coming on here. This was great. I think we mentioned this to you back when we was at BruceFest. Like, hey, we want you on this podcast when we get things rolling.
Absolutely.
Sure get you on here.
I think if we can convince the king to listen in on this, listen to the tales from the cult, and then it's like, okay, here's what your fans say about you. Do you have a response?
That'd be fantastic.
That would be cool. Yeah. Oh, nice. That's a good idea.
Because we are the Cult of Campbell, and that's why we follow this man, because he's the king. Mm-hmm. So that was the whole point of this. I told Eric back when he's going to do BruceFest, I was like, I want to meet as many people as I can, because I want to, in 2023, I want to focus on the Cult of Campbell. We spent 2 years talking about Bruce. Let's talk about the people that are enamored by the king. So. Ashlee, you're fantastic. So fun to be around. Like, you were a shining light at BruceFest, and already just magical.
So
place.
Much. Too much.
You stood out. So, you can find us at Cult Talk Net. That's across the board: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all the things. Cult of Campbell every Monday, Cult Talk Conspiracy every other Tuesday, and Cult of Lore every other Thursday, maybe Friday, depending on what Eric's schedule looks like.
We swear it's Thursday on time, totally. Yes.
Ashlee, do you have anything you want to plug?
Yeah. Where can we find you?
If you want to be found.
Oh, if I want to be found. I mean, basically, if you just, I'm on the interwebs at various places, but the easiest way to find me is just Ashlee, Ashlee Jacobson, Jacobson. So feel free to find me I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I think that those are the three that I'm on right now.
Okay.
And then, just feel free to reach out, and you can say, I have a lot of people going, are you the Ash from BruceFest? And I'm like, yep, that's me.
That's hell yes. Yeah, we're pretty recognizable. No, heck yeah. Iconic to BruceFest.
Getting to watch Bruce Campbell had his roast just here recently. And so we were streaming, and there was a chat, and apparently there were some fellow BruceFest people, and so somebody actually did say, wait a minute, are you that Ash? I was like, I'll get name tags. Yes, I'm that Ash.
Yes, I'm that Ash. Oh, that's perfect.
But yeah, no, I think we're a great little cult.
Yep.
We're a good cult.
In the best sense of the word. Yeah.
In the-
Good cult. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we're a good one.
We're a good cult.
one. We're not the crazy ones. We're a little crazy. We're not that crazy.
Well, yeah.
We wear our crazy on our sleeve. You know what kind of crazy you're getting into when it comes to the Cult of Campbell's.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
you knew the job was dangerous when you took it. So.
Yep. Absolutely.
Well, but yes, I appreciate you guys having me on, and this has been a blast, and we'll have to, BruceFest 23 or 2023. We haven't gotten to 23 BruceFest yet.
Right.
Yep.
No, but we'll get there. Darn it. Even if we have to wheel them there.
He'll really look like Elvis at that point, right?
Yeah, he will.
Sorry, Bruce. I love you.
King baby.
But there you have it, guys. Ashlee, Tales from the Cult. Thank you so much for being part of it. I've been Ty.
I've been Eric.
That's been Ashlee.
Oh, that's sorry. I was and that's Ashlee. I'm that Ashlee.
And as always, ladies and gentlemen, stay groovy.
Stay groovy.
Groovy.
Hail to the king, baby.
That's it? That's the best you got?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.